Postgame press conference, Coach will make an opening statement, and then we will go into questions. Just raise your hand and I will call it. Coach?
Start off by saying thank you to the men and women that serve our country. Obviously today was salute to service across the country, and everybody in our program is very thankful for the sacrifices that the men and women make and their families make to allow us to do what we do. Senior day, really proud of this group. A lot of them were here when I first got here, chose to stay here through some uncertainty, bought into our vision of what the program can and would be about, and it's a phenomenal group. It's a group that I think over the last couple of years has won 13 games, is that right? At home, at 13 home games, which over that span is as good as it's been since the late 90s. So we've had some disappointment in the results along the way, but this group, this team continues to fight and compete extremely hard. They prepare the right way. Really proud of them. That happens because of a lot of the leadership from that senior group. So with that, I'll open it up.
We'll start with Ben and then go to Rob.
Josh, how much did you enjoy watching Joe play today on senior day and being able to finish his career in Neyland that way?
Yeah, proud of his resiliency, continue to prepare, fight, and compete extremely well. Obviously the band's ready to play one more round. But he was really good throughout the course of the football game. Decisive, was in the right spot, and recognized coverage. Did some really good things. Had some guys out on the perimeter make plays. For most of it, the protection was really pretty solid. There were a couple times it broke down. He extended and made some plays. Proud of the effort from the offensive line. Obviously, that group was extremely beat up.
Coach, that was my question. The offensive line. I don't think anybody finished the game where they started. Have you ever had to mix and match and shuffle like that? What can you say about those guys?
Nah, Coach Ellerby and I were just talking. As I was getting ready to come in here. I've never been a part of it as a player, as a coach. Just how it's unfolded this year for whatever reason, and there's not one thing you can point a finger at. It's proud of the guys that continue to step up, guys that come back and compete, and it's a group, really good group.
Paige in the back middle.
Since 2009, Joe Milton's the first quarterback to be responsible for 6 touchdowns in a game. What made him so effective tonight?
Smart decision making, accurate with the football, and guys out on the perimeter doing a great job. But a lot of quarters, and which essentially becomes one-on-one situation, and offensive line doing a good job protecting. So you put all that together, and then a couple opportunities in the red zone running the football where he's got a really special night.
We'll stay in the back with Casey.
When you look at Jacob Warren and McAllen Castles, what are you most proud of for the tight end room this season?
Jacob Warren's been such an integral part in the building of this program. His leadership, in particular over the last couple of years, I don't think you can overstate. Guy that it means everything to wear the power T and to play and compete. Joe just came back for his 6th year. Callie, new to the program, fully invested, bought into everything. Guy that prepares extremely hard. It means everything. He wants to perform, not for himself, but for the guys around him. And just continue to get better throughout the course of the year. Both extremely unselfish players. They'd rather see the other guy catch a touchdown than themselves. And two dynamic players. They had a good night tonight too.
David?
Josh, what could you see that was happening in the second quarter as far as the skirmishes there, and how important was it at halftime to address that, given that you didn't want anybody missing the ball?
Yeah, addressed it. Tried to address it on the sidelines too, and we talked as a coaching staff as well, and it got pretty chippy there for a little bit. Talked about it at halftime, playing smart football. We didn't necessarily do that. We had more penalties than we wanted.
Adam?
Josh, there was some disappointments this year. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
Then there was 8-4 record is good of a season as the 13 years before you got here. How should fans balance the pluses and the minuses of those?
They should feel, the way that we feel. And when I say that, I'm proud of this group. They've worked extremely hard. They've prepared the right way. They, on game day, they've been resilient. They continue to fight and compete. And every Saturday is different. And we've all had some disappointment. Everybody in that locker room, coaches, me, everybody, when we don't end up on the right side of the scoreboard, man, there's disappointment in that. This group's never walked out on the field not thinking they were going to win.
But do you like the state of the program overall, aside from any one game or season or anything?
Rephrase that.
Do you like
say that one more time.
the state of the program overall? This is 3 years. Do you like where the state of the program is, aside from just one
Man,
game?
I'm really proud of where we started, where we're at, where we got to continue to fight to go get to. But absolutely.
Right here, and then Wes.
Just going back to the offense, I saw there wasn't like any touchdowns, but the run game looked really solid today. What was your favorite aspect about that?
Yeah, it wasn't extremely efficient early in the football game. We picked up some yards, but the perimeter plays off of the run game were really big. Jay Wright, I don't think anybody's mentioned, but goes over 1,000 yards this year. Played extremely well. Jabari averaged 7.5, on 4 carries. There were some big plays. There were efficient plays. At the end of the day, you look at the group that's up there, continuing to compete. I'm talking about the 5 offensive linemen and tight ends are a lot of positive things.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Wes.
Josh, these next couple weeks coming up, are they about the most hectic time of the year for a coach with the million things going on with guys maybe leaving or not, portal not, going recruiting, all that stuff? How do you even go about trying to sort of manage those couple weeks, and how big are they for your program?
Massive, huge implications on what you're going to be as you move forward as a program. So yes, there's a lot going on all at one time. High school, portal, your players, all of it, and you got to manage it all. You got to have a great staff that communicates at a really high level and do the right things, make the right decisions.
Reese in the back.
Coach, to see Ramel score twice today after a rough start to the season with a few drops, what does that mean?
Yeah, I'm proud of Ramel. I probably late in the year, you guys got a sense that he wasn't 100% early in the year. Just continues to fight and compete. And, a year ago he stepped up in a huge way. When Sed went down, this year hasn't always been perfect for him, but guy that competes and practices extremely hard, and to go finish it inside of Neyland Stadium the way he did tonight was awesome to see.
David, then Casey.
Josh, you touched on Jaylen. That's the first 1,000-yard season here in like 8 years. Is this something that not only Jaylen but the entire offense, is that kind of like a group achievement award that everybody kind of likes to share in when they hit that milestone?
Yeah, it absolutely is a group achievement. I said it earlier in the week, it's probably not something that Jay Wright would point to, but the offensive line room, when they got a chance to get a guy to 1,000, they take great pride in that, and the tight ends too. They all play a huge part in that type of recognition.
What's the biggest thing you've seen in Jaylen Wright's growth that's allowed him to get to that 1,000 yards in a season mark?
Man, there's a lot of things that he's grown in just off the field. I think just his maturity and how he continues to come into the building every single day, the mindset, and very consistent in his habits. On the field, it's just understanding of the run game base on the defenses that you're seeing. He started out as an elite talent that was really fast, that could or wanted to run just around everybody. He's a real running back that understands how to use the guys in front of him.
Austin, then Patrick.
You talk about Jacob coming back for his 6th year. Talk about Ollie Lane, the guy who hadn't played. Hadn't started a whole lot in his time here, but this year
Sure did this year.
And has started every step of the way.
Yeah. he's a great example of a guy that it means everything to be inside of this program and does it the right way, cares about his teammates. Came back for another year. He's been thrown in at guard, you know, I think our first year when we got here. This year he's played a little bit of everything, man, and huge part of the success of this football team. Guys like that, you know, never get the recognition that they should. He means a lot inside that old line room, but to this football team too.
Coach, you got Nico there playing the fourth quarter. What did you think of his couple drives and what he did on offense?
Thought he did a really good job, you know, off of our run game, throwing the ball out on the perimeter, was accurate, decisive. When we pushed it down the field, just a normal drop back. Like him to pitch the speed option. You know what I mean? Did a good job stepping through the tackle, but all in all, really good job by him.
All right, thank you. We'll have players shortly. Players will include